Hi, this is Dr. Padma Garvey. Thanks for listening to today's podcast. A lot of women have difficulty getting pregnant, and many women, when they are pregnant, have problems associated with high blood pressure or excessive weight gain during pregnancy or diabetes of pregnancy. Many women end up needing to take medications during pregnancy to help with their blood pressure, for instance, and oftentimes the medications have some drawbacks as well. We're going to be talking to Stephanie, who recently had a baby, and she and her wife, Chrissy, both changed their diets to a healthy plant-based diet before Stephanie got pregnant. And I think when you listen to what Stephanie has to say, it becomes pretty clear that changing our diets to a healthy, low-fat, plant-based diet is a great thing to do in order to help us try and get pregnant if we're having difficulties. And it's a wonderful way of making sure that our pregnancies are as complication-free as possible.
Well, my name is Stephanie. I'm a nurse. I'm married to my wife, Chrissy, who is also a nurse, and she's currently an administrator for a long-term nursing facility and rehab. We have my stepson, Michael, is Chrissy's firstborn, and he is 7. And we just had Chase. So that's basically our family, and we have a whole bunch of animals. we have a parrot, a pig, a bunny, a Rottweiler, 2 cats. I think that's it.
You got your hands full. And Chase the newborn is, I think, like 15 days old, so
yeah, I think he might be 16 days old today.
16 days old. Okay.
Yep.
So, tell us, a little bit about some of your health concerns that you might have had before you became pregnant.
Well, when we first went to you, Chris, how it happened was, Chrissy came home from the appointment with you and saying, hey, I think we should maybe look into this plant-based diet. And I looked at it and I said, oh, that looks like it's harder than being vegan even. And I was a little skeptical because I ate a lot of cheese. But, Chrissy thought it would be good for her PCOS rather than going on medication, actually fixing the problem. So we watched the Forks Over Knives, and we watched some documentaries to kind of open our eyes up to it. And we said, let's give it a shot. At this point, we were trying to get me pregnant. Mm-hmm. And hadn't been successful. So we set a date of when we were going to really try to kind of switch over. We started trying recipes, and then we set a date for when we were really going to try to get rid of the other food, or try to not eat the other food, non-vegan food and plant-based food. And it just went really well. The food was so delicious that it was easy, and we just kind of fell in love with the lifestyle. And then shortly after that, I actually did get pregnant.
And if
Go ahead.
I remember correctly, did you have any issues with your blood pressure?
Yeah.
Before you got pregnant?
Yeah. So I was running 140 over 100. That's where I was hanging out, which is very high. And I could feel it. I felt anxious. I felt racy. I felt that way more after eating, fettuccine Alfredo and the cheese that I love to eat. And I felt bad, but I was also very overweight as well. So when Chrissy wanted to go on this diet, I thought it would be good for my blood pressure. So,
were you on medication at that time, or you weren't on medication? You were?
Yes, I was on medication. I was on hydrochlorothiazide, right? Yeah, hydrochlorothiazide, and was that anything else? Metoprolol? And metoprolol.
Okay. And you said you were overweight. Do you mind telling us, what your height and weight was before you got pregnant?
Yeah, I was up to 220.
And how tall are you?
5'6".
Okay.
So.
And so after you got, so you if I'm correct, you were pretty much already on a plant-based diet around the time you got pregnant, or shortly thereafter?
No, I was on it before we got me pregnant.
And when did you notice that your blood pressure was within normal range?
That was almost immediate. I stopped my medication right away when I started the diet, because like I was saying, like when I would eat cheese, like I would feel my pressure go up. Like, so not eating cheese for a couple of days, I felt better quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And like sticking to that, like I really was able to drop the medication. So yeah, I dropped it right away.
And then after you became pregnant, were there any concerns you had with being plant-based during pregnancy?
No, I mean, it was actually good, because my pressure during the pregnancy, when I was having it checked all the time, every time I went to the doctor, they would check me out, and I was running like 100/60. So
Mm-hmm.
My pressure was so much lower. I was losing weight up until I was about 6 months pregnant. The doctor said it was fine. I was healthy. I was losing weight slowly. I was losing it the right way.
And you were eating you weren't going hungry or anything.
I was eating like crazy. Like I was eating anything and everything I wanted to on that diet. So yeah, I didn't, if I was hungry, I ate, and I had a large baby. The baby was 8 pounds and 13 ounces.
I know,
and a week early. Yeah.
I saw that. And, one thing I just wanted to kind of point out to people who are listening, when women are on blood pressure medications and they're considering getting pregnant, women who have high blood pressure are at increased risk for preeclampsia and complications with their blood pressure during pregnancy. Right. And women who have high blood pressure and they're on medications, sometimes those medications can also cause problems for the baby's growth. So you did the absolutely perfect thing. You got your blood pressure under control, got off the medication before you got pregnant.
Correct.
And that was great. You're lucky in that you have a partner. Your wife was motivated to be plant-based.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that. How did Michael, your older son, deal with these things?
Well, he's 7, so I think he deals with it just, I would think, how any kid deals with food in general. Like, he's picky, and it changes day to day. Mm-hmm. So some days he tells me he hates peanut butter. He won't eat it. It's disgusting. Same thing with mustard. He hates mustard. Then one of his friends eats it, and he tries it, and he likes it, at school. And then he's like, I want to drink a bottle of mustard. I'm like, well, you can't do that. But, excuse me. So, sometimes he would push back a little bit, especially since there's a lot of like non-plant-based, non-vegan people in his life. Like his father, he goes to his father's every other weekend. Mm-hmm. And, he goes to grandparents' house and stuff like that. So, I think that he wants to fit in. So, we just try to keep having him try different things. And there's plenty of vegan foods that he absolutely loves. And we just always motivate him to keep trying things. When he was a little bit younger, we would just tell him those are chicken nuggets, even though they were like tofu chicken nuggets.
Right.
But now he's learning to read. He's knowing the difference. So this is what it is. Like, this is what we're eating, and he does really well with it. He really does.
That's good. And you had mentioned that you were losing weight slowly up until about 6 months. And the other thing I wanted to just stress to people who are listening, that, when if a woman is overweight, before getting pregnant, and she then starts eating healthy, weight loss during the first few months of pregnancy can be expected. And as long as she's eating a very healthy diet and not restricting or going hungry, that's not a bad thing for her or the baby. And you said you started to put on weight after 6 months, which is absolutely to be expected.
Right.
Overall, like, how much did you end up?
So I got down to 185 was where I got down to before I started gaining weight.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say too, the whole time that I was losing weight, they keep measuring your belly to make sure that, the baby's growing fine. My belly was always measuring perfect. It was like right on the centimeter that it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I got down to 185. And then I started going back up. I think I got up to 204 was like my highest pregnant weight, which was lower than my starting weight.
Right.
And then within, I don't know, like a week and a half, I dropped 20 pounds as soon as I had the baby. My stomach is like almost flat already 16 days after the baby. Like everything, like, I have my tiny wrists and my tiny ankles again, just everything kind of just went back very, very easily. The weight is literally just falling off of me at this point.
Now, we don't have to mention any names or anything, but did physicians give you any pushback, or were they not comfortable with any of this?
No, they were they thought it was great. The ones that I dealt with, thought it was great and healthy. Nobody told me anything different. I just had to watch, like I was prescribed a supplement. I think it was for vitamin D. I was like looking I was trying to get everything that was like vegan and stuff. So I had to kind of watch things like that I don't think that they thought of immediately. But as far as like just the actual diet, they thought it was great because my numbers were great. Like all my labs were good and my blood pressure was good. My weight was good. So they're like, keep doing it.
Was your diabetes screen okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. That's awesome. And now that you're dealing with the pediatrician, like have you mentioned to the pediatrician how you eat and how you may have Chase eat as he grows older?
Well, I had a breast reduction years ago. So, they didn't touch my milk ducts, but I don't know if they touched, like the nerves and stuff like that. So basically one of my breasts isn't producing a lot of milk. I wanted to exclusively breastfeed Chase, but I can't produce enough with just the one breast that's like giving a lot of milk and the other one is given like 1/10 of that. So I actually do have to supplement with formula, and I was really because I was breastfeeding him every 2 hours. That's what I was saying. I was like so exhausted in the beginning. He wasn't getting enough food, and I was just constantly feeding him. So I knew I had to add formula, and I was like sick over it because I didn't want to give him cow's milk. So I went to speak to my pediatrician about, like a soy-based or just like some type of vegan formula, and he supported it like completely. He said, no, he didn't give any pushback at all. He said, they all have the same, because my concern was like, sorry, Cleo. My concern was, is this like a new thing? Like, is there a lot of research on it? Is it safe for the baby? Because like cow's milk, and formula has been around for so long, like I didn't know if this was like a newer thing. But he like definitely like calmed me down and said, no, like they all have the same like regulations, like that's 100% fine. He said, he didn't even recommend a specific brand. He gave me a couple samples and said like, this is what I have, but I don't recommend any specific brand. Like they all have the same standards. So now he's getting a soy-based formula in addition to my breast milk. But I think it kind of goes without saying that I don't want to feed him anything that's has any animal products in it, and he seemed to support that completely. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So, is there any advice you could give to women who are contemplating pregnancy or who are currently pregnant?
As far as what?
As far as just thinking about a plant-based diet, or, how to approach it.
Well, I would give the same advice that you gave to us, to me and my wife, when we first met you, which was, even if you do it 80% instead of 100%, you're still going to be so much better off rather than not doing it at all. And what I found, when you do it like 80%, like you start watching everything. When we weren't plant-based and we ate meat and we ate cheese, we also weren't making sure that we were eating lots of salad with that meat and that cheese. Now it's like we have like the basis of our meal might be the salad, and we might, add, that's when you may add like, certain oils, or like a tofu meat or something like that. Like you're just more, what's the word? You're more conscious of what you're putting. Yeah, you're more conscious of what you're putting into your body. So if you can try to do it at all, just eat less meat and just eat less dairy. Like you will feel better. You will lose weight. I found that I got pregnant. If you're trying to get pregnant, like your body's healthier. Right. So, right. If you're trying to get pregnant, I don't think that's going to hurt. I think that it's just going to help.
That's great. Well, Stephanie, I really want to thank you. I want to thank Christy also, because I'm sure she's been through the whole pregnancy with you. And yes. I just, I really thank you for your time. And I know you're a tired new mom, so I'm going to let you get some rest. And I'm sure what you have told us is going to help a lot of people.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. Thank you for everything also.
All right, Stephanie. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.
I hope listening to Stephanie was helpful. I think she's a great spokesperson for the benefits of a low-fat, plant-based diet in pregnancy. For more information, you can go to my website, www.drpadmagarvey.com, where I have blog posts and recipes and more podcasts like this one. The music for this podcast was provided by bensound.com. Thank you.